Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
A newly formed political party in Ghana calls for agreement on extending the deadline for elections. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline from Monday, August 19th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. The recently formed A New and United Guyana, the ANUG, says it supports the idea of extending the deadline for holding fresh regional and general elections. But the party said it would only support the move if elections are held this year. The main opposition People's Progressive Party, PPP, has been calling for the elections as mandated by the Caribbean Court of Justice to be held on September 18th. Which is 3 months after the court validated the no-confidence motion passed against the coalition government last December. The Ghana Constitution says that's the deadline by which an election should be held following the passage of a no-confidence motion against the government, unless an extension is granted by a two-thirds majority of the National Assembly. General Secretary of the ANUG, Ralph Ramkaran, has called for an extension of the time to hold the elections, even if it's beyond September 18th.
We believe that the leader of the opposition and the People's Progressive Party would be inclined to support an extension in the National Assembly, even though they have not yet said so officially. So, it is hoped, therefore, that this will be the outcome of the discussions in the Elections Commission and that we will have elections this year.
Ramkaran says the country is in a tense political situation and there will be worry for the economic impact as a result. And he called on the chairman of the Ghana Elections Commission, GCOM, to support using the 2018 voters list so that elections can be held in Guyana at the nearest possible time.
And let us hope that over the next few days, the Elections Commission, on which we are now relying, takes the correct position and takes the correct position and utilizes the 2018 list, put it up for claims and objections, and they're able to advise the president that elections could be held soon. Only the elections now can bring back some form of stability to Guyana.
Trinidad and Tobago's opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bissessar is calling on Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to explain multiple contracts being granted to a People's National Movement PNM senator. Addressing a United National Congress meeting on Sunday, she disclosed that the contracts had been awarded to Senator Foster Cummings, who's also General Secretary of the ruling PNM.
She said 3 companies have received work from the government. 2 of these firms, she says, belong to Senator Cummings and his wife, Cummings and Associates Company Limited and PCAL Services Company Limited.
HDC contracts are going to the company owned by Cummings and his wife, PCAL Services Limited. You'll see the truck there, PCAL Services. They're doing the work, and I want to ask the Prime Minister, if this same company, the same Foster Cummings PCAL company, was awarded contracts for garbage collection service in HDC development. So
she questioned the nature of the award of the contracts.
What was the procurement process used to hire General Secretary Foster? Was it selective tendering again? How much are these contracts worth? Why is it that PICAL is being given all this work by the HDC? What about the other smaller contractors with the equipment rotting away, workers being fired, but you're giving the General Secretary all these contracts at HDC?
That was the opposition leader, Kamla Prasad Besessar, in that report from TTT News. Still in Trinidad and Tobago, Commissioner of Prisons Jared Wilson says he's awaiting the outcome of a police investigation before linking Sunday's shooting incident at the home of a prison officer to the recent threat posted on social media to kill any two prison officers. The Pleasantville home of 43-year-old prison officer O'Kang Harris was shot at on Sunday. Fortunately, no one was injured. Wilson acknowledged that prison officers and their families would have some anxious moments based on what had transpired, but he said he did not want to connect the incident to the threats against officers until police have carried out their investigations. And he stressed that everything had been put in place to ensure that Harris and his family are protected. Last week, National Security Minister Stuart Young said law enforcement and intelligence agencies were put on high alert to deal with the threat. Authorities in Jamaica are trying to get to the bottom of a divorce racket that Justice Minister Delroy Chuck believes may involve some members of the legal profession. We get the details in this report from TVJ News.
With a deep pocket and the right connections, married couples can speedily get a decree absolute, the second of two documents needed to end a marriage, only to find out later they are still joined together in holy matrimony, as the document was fake.
Only about less than 4 weeks ago, a law firm actually sent a letter to the Chief Justice and copied to me, where about 9 or 10 divorces, allegedly coming from that law firm, were actually issued decree absolute, which were clearly fraudulent. So, although the law firm name is on the bottom of the decree absolute, the law firm had nothing to do with them.
So why haven't the authorities been able to clamp down on the divorce racket which has been going on for years? In one instance, a decree absolute even had a signature appearing to be that of an acting judge, but that signature was also fake.
So it means that there are some charlatans, in this, maybe attorneys or maybe paralegals, who have taken it upon themselves to hoodwink persons that they can do divorces for them.
Just recently, Police Sergeant Juliet McKay appeared before the St. Andrew Parish Court on charges of uttering forged documents in relation to the scam.
Staying in Jamaica, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says government will continue to invest in border control as the country clamps down on crime. The pledge comes on the heels of a $35.7 million drug bust off the coast of St. Thomas. We get more from TVJ News.
A large chunk of the Ministry of National Security's budget was spent on border patrol. 2 ships and a surveillance airplane were purchased at a cost of over $45 million. It's an investment the security minister feels is paying off and pointed to recent seizures as proof. Among them, a mega bust over 2 weeks ago. The drugs at a street value of nearly 5 billion Jamaican dollars.
Anybody who handles that kind of cash flow is that a small businessman. And if they're doing that every month, you talk the kind of money they're operating in. And just have to admit that they have the capacity to corrupt much of institutions. We therefore need an effective, strong team, fully equipped police officers who are working in comfortable circumstances to identify these things, disrupt them. If we get 2 aircrafts, an additional 2 boats, we can do 24 surveillance per coast. And that's how we caught that man running off to Costa Rica. That was one of the big links where container loads of drugs was going in that direction, then north, and the money comes back to Jamaica, as well as the guns. So our investment will continue.
But border patrol is just one of the security forces' focus. On land, crime fighters are involved in states of emergency in Hanover, Westmoreland, St. James, and St. Andrews South. The National Security Minister said that if necessary, they would ask for extensions to decrease murders. But he recognizes these measures can't be used forever, and therefore he's putting business leaders on alert to assist with crime fighting after the SOE.
Still to come, a Haitian legislator injured in a gun attack. The details of that story and more after the break. We'll be right back.
It's gonna be something special. We're gonna come together. It's a meeting of the island. There will never be a time like this one. We come to connect, share and invest. Turn the eyes of the world to CaribVision. Tell the cultures to come and bring the best. CaribVision 14.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Police in Haiti are searching for heavily armed gunmen who shot and injured legislator Ronald Etienne during an attack on Sunday night. They said that Etienne, who is a member of the consortium of political parties that's closely aligned to President Jovenel Moise's ruling party, was shot at as he drove from the capital Port-au-Prince to his constituency office. His driver was hit several times and remains in hospital in critical condition. Another person in the vehicle, Ronald Etienne, was slightly wounded. Deputy Rolf Papillon said there is no doubt it was a premeditated attack aimed at eliminating the legislator. Jamaica has recorded an increase in the number of suspected dengue cases, and the Ministry of Health is warning citizens to guard against mosquito-borne diseases as the drought conditions intensify.
Data from the Ministry of Health have revealed that the country recorded more than 140 suspected cases of dengue last month. According to Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Besesa Mackenzie, it is significantly higher than the figure recorded for July last year. She explains that the ministry is receiving more notifications each year, fitting the case definition of dengue even in the usually slow period.
Over the last 5 years, 3 out of those 5 years, we have been above the monthly mean.
Wow.
Right, and comparing this year to last year, we are way above. Last year, I think we saw maybe about, for that period, I think we were in the region of about 2030. Don't quote me exactly, okay, but that is a kind of difference.
She explains that the heat is resulting in an increase in the mosquito population. Dr. Besesa Mackenzie says that this is compounded by several containers used to store water during the drought. Hence, her appeal for persons to be vigilant.
We know that people have to store water, but you have to cover the containers to prevent the mosquitoes from getting in there to lay their eggs. That is a key. You have to prevent, because every case of dengue has the potential to become serious and to result in death.
She urged parents not to wait too long to seek medical help for their children with dengue-like symptoms.
Well, it's time for Newsline Health, and this week we hear that women in Trinidad and Tobago are being encouraged to seek health care early in their pregnancies, and health officials in Guyana take preventive measures to reduce HIV transmission. Michael Williams has the details.
Trinidad and Tobago's Health Minister, Terence Dale Singh, is appealing to expectant mothers using the public health system to seek medical care early in their pregnancy to ensure they are in good health. He was speaking at a recent news conference where the Pan American Health Organization recognized the Twin Island Republic for its improved record in maternal and neonatal mortality rates. About 17,000 babies are delivered each year in the public health system, and Dayal Singh says early care will help to further reduce mortality.
Do not wait until the second half of your pregnancy, the second and third trimesters, to come for screening. We can pick up a lot of things earlier, whether you are diabetic or not, whether the child, that fetus has abnormalities we need to know about by doing the two compulsory ultrasound scans we want to do. So we can catch you early and reduce further both infant mortality and maternal mortality.
Dayal Singh added that breastfeeding is also critical in reducing maternal and infant mortality.
Breastfeeding has a significant role in reducing infant mortality rates, not just neonatal, because neonates are up to 28 days. Infants up to a year. Because breastfeeding, a lot of the diseases, childhood diseases, could be mitigated by breastfeeding exclusively for the first 6 months of that baby's life. Because the mother has all these wonderful things called antibodies, which are passed on in the breast milk, so they don't get the flu as often, right? Exclusively breastfed children show a significantly reduced rates of developing diabetes.
The Ministry of Public Health in Guyana is planning to introduce pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, as a prevention measure against HIV transmission. It will target mainly vulnerable groups, including sex workers, transgender people, and men who have sex with men. People who do not have HIV can take PrEP to reduce the risk of contracting the virus if they are exposed. The government in Georgetown will also set up a public-private partnership with doctors in the private sector to whom patients will be referred for treatment. Mary-Claire Williams, Newsline Health.
Ahead in Newsline Sports, the 3-day test between Windies A and India ends in a draw. Stay with us.
After an emergency, you can help yourself and others by looking, listening, and linking.
Looking because you want to see if the person has some signs that is in distressing. Looking for the symptoms, how best you can support the person. And then listening, because listening is very important. Listening with your ears, listening with your eyes. If you do that well, then you'll be able to link them to the appropriate resources.
Be ready, look, listen, and link.
I'm going to go in with flour, salt, cocoa powder, baking soda. If you wanted to add some cinnamon or spice to this, you can. You want to mix to combine. Once all of your ingredients are mixed in, set this aside.
Hanuma Vihari and Ajinkya Rahane both gathered half centuries as India's 3-day warm-up test against West Indies A petered out into a stalemate in Antigua on Monday. Resuming from their overnight 84-for-1 at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, India declared their second innings on 188-for-5, with Vihari top scoring with 64 and Rahane stroking 54. Off-spinner Akim Fraser eventually accounted for both to finish with 2-for-43. Set 305 for victory, West Indies reached 47-for-3 before the game was called off at the scheduled tea break. Kavim Hodge, who top scored with 51 in the first innings, fell cheaply for 5 after miscuing a pull at pacer Jasprit Bumrah to square leg, while Brandon King's run-a-ball 14 ended when he edged a drive at off-spinner Ravi Ashwin to slip. And opener Jeremy Solozano's hour-long vigil ended when he missed a forward defensive stroke to left-arm spinner Ravi Jadeja and was LBW. The match is the only warm-up for India before the opening test starting Thursday at the Vivian Richards Cricket Ground. And West Indies captain Jason Holder has retained his all-rounder top ranking ahead of Thursday's start of the two-test series against India. The 27-year-old Barbadian topped the all-rounders chart in tests back in January following his stunning double hundred in the first test against England at Bridgetown that propelled the home side to a massive 381-run victory. He also picked up 2 wickets in that match to move up 2 places to the top rung. Holder is also the highest-ranked West Indian in the bowling charts at number 8, having retained that spot, while fellow Kemar Roach also retained his 11th place ranking. Speedster Shannon Gabriel is the other West Indies bowler in the top 20 at number 12. In the batting rankings, West Indies opener Craig Brathwaite is the highest-ranked Caribbean player at 36, with Holder popping up at 37th. Roston Chase sits in the 41st spot on the table, Shane Dowrich on 46, and Shimron Hetmeyer on 48th. While West Indies batting legend Brian Lara is quite impressed with the regional side's preparations for the two-test series. Lara, who has volunteered his services to mentor the batsmen in the Caribbean side in their camp ahead of the games, said in a statement on Monday that the West Indies appear to be on the right path, and he was happy to join the group and share his immense knowledge of the game. He said, quote, "I decided to join the camp simply because I feel this present crop of West Indies players, especially in the test arena, is the right group of players. The talent that's within is there. The performance against England to win a series at home, I think, is the start of something really good for us. We must lay the foundation at home first before we travel abroad in foreign conditions to sort of take command of the situation," end quote. The batting maestro participated fully in several aspects of the camp. Lara also lauded the team's technical skills and work ethic, adding that mental preparation is critical for the team to play, compete, and dominate for 5 days of a test match. To football now, Ghana begins its campaign for supremacy in the CONCACAF Nations League in September. Several players in the Golden Jaguars are set to make their debut in 1 home and 2 away matches. HGP's Jaden Samuels tells us more.
As the countdown begins to the start of the CONCACAF Nations League in September-November window, the squad has begun training at the National Facility Providence. The squad, comprising 4 goalkeepers, 11 defenders, 10 midfielders and 6 forwards, also has 7 first-timers who will be competing for a chance to earn their debut in the national squad. According to Charles Pollard, the Golden Jaguars assistant coach and lead for the Guyana-based team preparation, the squad was selected by a technical panel including head coach Michael Johnson, with players with the right combination of technical skill, heart and commitment to represent Guyana being picked.
We're talking about breaking into the top 100 teams in the world, which I believe is very achievable with the players that we have. The training facilities give us an opportunity to improve the players. So I'm excited for the next few years, not just the Gold Cup, beyond the Gold Cup and what that means for the youngsters.
While the majority of the squad is taken from those who were part of the previous training, some new players were brought to the fore after credible performances in the recently held tournaments. On September 6, Aruba will play Guyana in Curacao, while Guyana will return home to play Jamaica on October 9. Then the locals will wing out to Barbuda for their 3rd game.
And finally, in horse racing, My Lady Curlin just managed to hold off a fast-finishing Gotham Gala to hand Jamaican jockey Sean Bridge-Mohan a victory in Saturday's $200,000 Lady Jacqueline Stakes at Thistledown Racetrack. Bridge-Mohan sent the 7-5 choice to the front coming off the final turn, only for Gotham Gala, one of two earlier pace setters, to resurrect her challenge and narrowly miss out by a nose at the wire. My Lady Curlin was timed at 1 minute 51.4 seconds for her fifth straight win at 5 different tracks in 5 different states. Thistledown's track announcer Bobby Newman has the call.
A bit tied, Flirties to her outside, and Belladudette trails, but is only about 6 lengths off. They're bunched up as they're on the clubhouse turn. 6 furlongs to go in the Lady Jack. An Escape Clause and Gotham Gala still together, and My Lady Curlin is right behind the pair in third. She's just 2 lengths off the front. Stormologist on the inside is waiting fourth, and it's Viva Forever and Flirty together, about 4 lengths off the lead. Crafty's Dream is now 6.5 lengths from the front, and Belladudette trails, and she's about a dozen lengths behind. 4 furlongs to go in the Lady Jack. Inside Escape Clause, outside Gotham Gala, those two are still together. And My Lady Curlin is just behind the pair in third. Now Escape Clause puts half a side on Gotham Gala. And it's a length and a half back, and My Lady Curlin begins to rally 3 deep. Stormologist can't keep up with his trio. Flirty and Viva Forever still together, nothing from Crafty's Dream. And Belladudette needs to go and go now. 3 across the track, and My Lady Curlin makes a big move here at the quarter pole. An Escape Clause tries to counter this move from My Lady Curlin. Just behind them, Gotham Gala is now back to third, top of the stretch, and My Lady Curlin on the lead. Escape Clause trying to battle back along the inside, and Gotham Gala is third, the rest far back. It's My Lady Curlin still just in front of Escape Clause, and Gotham Gala is coming back again. It's My Lady Curlin. Here comes Gotham Gala. My Lady Curlin and Gotham Gala to the wire. Photo, I think. Maybe My Lady Curlin, but Gotham Gala made it close. Escape Clause finished third. Stormologist ran fourth.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Coming up, eye-catching art, a mix of cultures on display in one location. It's time for CariFesta, the best of Barbados outside of Barbados. Antigua and Barbuda get showcased to the world, plus an east-west fusion of sound. It's all next on Caribbean Passport on this station.
A recap of the day's major developments: a newly formed political party in Guyana calls for an agreement on extending the deadline for elections, but only until the end of the year. And in sport, the three-day test between Windies A and India ends in a draw. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, subscribe to colonnews.com. And for more of our programming, log on to CaribVision.tv and check out our YouTube channel. We'll be back here again tomorrow, but stay tuned stay tuned from all of us at CMC News. Thank you for watching and have yourselves a good night.
On the global stage has started. A spike in serious crime recorded in St. Philip. Barbados continues to make its mark on